and welcome to Coffee and Card, January 2025. My name's Linda from lindaspapercraft.co.uk, and this week we are on week 3 of the cake celebrations series today, and I've also included this is the Perennial Postage dies, which I've included. I've cut this for you, and also I've used Wanted to Say dies. Now I have used those in a previous coffee and card, so those of you who've already got the dies, I've not cut the words out. Those of you who haven't got the dies, I have cut the words out for you, because we're allowed to cut dies out, we're just not allowed to sell stamped images unless they're in a completed project. Right, so simple, celebrate, could be for anything, absolutely anything, and lots of stamping today. So in your kit, as I say, if you don't have the dies, I'll have cut this out for you. I've just cut it out already for me for speed. So I've again used the Iridescent Faceted gems. I just love these. They are absolutely gorgeous, really, really sparkly. So you'll have 3 of those in your pack. And as I said, I'll cut you out the postage die. This one is nearly 8.5 by about 11.5 centimetres, so I think it's the second one down. It's not the biggest one, I think it's the one down from that. All the measurements are in the description below, pointed to with my fingers. And then we've got a piece of Highland Heather card, 13 centimetre square, and I suspect, 12.5 centimetre of the lace paper. Country lace, I think it's called. It's in the current catalogue with the Country Bird House, and it coordinates with the wood one as well, the wooden paper. So there's my celebrate. So I have got 13.5 by 27, scored at 13.5 to give you, in thick basic white, to give you a nice card base there. And I do the 13.5 centimetres because I can get hold of the envelopes. So they fit nicely in those envelopes, which are 14 centimetres. Oh, they are in inches. Shall we have a look? Yeah, so 5.5 inches. So it's slightly smaller than a 5.5 inch square card, so it just fits inside this envelope. Right, so I'm going to start with my stamping. Now I have used, let's get the colours out, running out of space on this desk. Right, okay, so I have used Daffodil Delight for the candle flames and the little starburst, grey granite for the cake base, but smoky slate or stamped off memento black would do fine. And then I've used fresh freesia and Highland Heather for the cake, but again, play with what you've got. Okay, so the first thing I'm actually going to do is stick together my celebrate, because that will show me roughly where I'm going to put my cake. So I'm just going to get my little tiny glue. Ooh, it's stuck on. So I'll just buy these off Amazon and then decant the glue in. So it's Stampin' Up! do a really, they do a needlepoint glue, which is really good, but if you don't use it often, it gets a bit stuck up. So I've moved to these because they've got these plastic lids which seem to seal them better. So right, although the Stampin' Up! Glue, it does set clear and shiny, so it's quite nice to do little effects on things as well. So right, okay, so I'm just using my silicone mat here, and I've washed it. It's super clean, warm soapy water, wriggle it about and the glue literally falls off. It's fabulous. So tiny weeny little dots all over, paying particular attention to corners, edges, ends of curves. Okay, I buy these empty and then put the glue in. It's quite easy, you just squeeze it out through the end into the bottle when you want to refill. Okay, and then so I'm just carefully lining it up. This one I had a bit of a struggle getting it out of the die, so it's a little bit bent. So I'm just going to carefully go, and then this is where it was bent at the R. So I'm just a little more patience and it wouldn't have happened, obviously. This is why this one didn't go into somebody's kit. There we go. See, but it's very forgiving. Just have to have a little play, and there it is. So that gives you roughly where you want to start with your cake. So I'm not sticking, I could stick it down, but this die is quite good because you can use the back. So I'm not going to stick it down just in case we make a faux pas. Okay, so that can go, look, see how it comes up beautiful. Again and again and again. So, right. There we go. Right, so I'm going to start with the base, which I haven't got out. I'm trying to be super organised and failing miserably. And this does, I think, need the D block. It needs the bigger one. Okay, so I've just dropped it onto the paper because you don't want it to twist about its narrowest part. And then I'm going to get starting with my grey granite, and I'm going to stamp that. Excuse me a moment, folks. Actually filming. Forgot to tell my son. So he's doing his usual, standing outside his bedroom screaming, which is most 19-year-olds do, I'm sure. Right, so I'm just going to pop that there just above the Celebrate. And then we will do the cake. So I'm going to start with the biggest layer of cake, and I'm doing the cake in fresh freesia. You could also, if you don't have fresh freesia but you do have Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape, you could do the cake in Highland Heather and your frosting in Gorgeous Grape. Have a play at what you've got, with what you've got, not what you've got. So just inking that up by tapping it on the surface. I appear to have a hair, probably from the cat. They usually, let me just clean that. Right, and I'm just going to drop this down so that I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to stamp it just above the cake. But I've actually, the cake stand rather, but I can actually see a little bit of a cake stand through the stamp. Okay, so I've got a nice effect there where I wiped it off. So, and then I'm going to put there. Stamp the smaller cake on top. That's the same one. Smaller cake. There we go. On top. So again in the fresh freesia. So again I'm going to stand up and look through my light to do this. So we're just going to line that so you can just see a tiny weeny bit of the cake, the bottom cake, through the stamp. And that minimises your gap between the two. And then we're getting the darker colour, so I'm using Highland Heather for this. And I'm going to do the frosting. Now the frosting sort of is in the middle and on top of the cake, okay? So going to put that. So if you want to make the cake taller, you can always wait until you've done the frosting before you do the second cake, okay? Or you can do it like I've done it this time. So, and then same again for the second lot of frosting. And again, we're just lining it up a bit over that way this time, so you'll be able to really get on top of it and make sure you've got it properly lined up. And then I'm going to add the candles, so I'm going back to the grey granite for the candles. Which are here. And again, so I'm just stood up looking through my ring light. Obviously, if I was doing this and I wasn't filming, well, the ring light wouldn't be in the way. So they're a bit off to one side, but you can line them up better. Okay, and then we're just going to get our daffodil to light and finish off our stamping. So I've got the candles, and they line up with, well, these are the flames, and these line up with the candles. There we go. And then I'm going to use the little starburst here. I'm just going to scatter 3 that I'm then going to add the diamantes to, just to finish it off. There we go. So nice and simple, this one. Obviously you can take a bit more time with your lining up than I've done, or use a stamping platform if you want. So I shall glue down my Celebrate. Now, because this isn't so thin, I'm using my normal glue. There we go, and I'm just putting a few dots on the finish. I mean, you can do quite small dots with this, but it's not as small as you can do with the pin glue. Okay. And just going to pop that at the bottom, just lined up straight, and then we'll build the rest of the card and add the gems. So this country lace paper is really good for lots of backgrounds because they're all really nice neutral colours. Okay, there we go, and on the back. I'll just pop that on the front of my card, which is here. And this is a symmetrical pattern, so it doesn't matter which way it goes. Okay, and then let's get a pokey tool and add these gems. Which ones have I used? I think I've just used the smaller ones on this. As I say, they will be in your bag. There'll be 3 of them on a little strip, so don't lose them when you're unpacking. Or don't do like I did with my Lego and threw the packet away with 3 pieces still in the pack. Fortunately, I realised and got them out. There we go. Christmas Lego. Happy lady. Right, so just going to pop some dimensionals on the back here. So, quite a big piece. Oops. I'm putting perhaps a few more than I would do normally. Well, I'm putting as many as I would do normally on a big piece. Right, so 2 more weeks of this to go, because January's got 5 Thursdays in, as if it's not the longest month of the year already. So, do put some comments below, and like and share. It all helps the algorithm and gets my videos seen by a few more people. Oh. Don't seem to want to come off this time. And so I'm just going to pop this in the corner here on the right hand side with roughly the same border round top, bottom and side. There we go. Yep, not firmly stuck down until it's pressed down. So there you go. So that's 2 cakes. You can clearly see I've re-inked my fresh freesia between. So and this one I use the grey and this one I use the white, and I prefer the white, so it'll be the white that's going out with the kit. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and take care, and I will see you all next week. Bye.